Good morning. Making sure you all can hear me well, thank you all for being here. It is a great day, every day, to be a Roadrunner, but today is exceptionally great to be a part of this Roadrunner family. I first want to thank all of you for being here this morning, particularly the members of the media. Thank you for your continued coverage and interest in UTSA athletics. A special thank you to the head coaches, the staff, administrators from the university, our student athletes, our fans, and our supporters who are here with us today in person and virtually. I also want to thank Dr. Amy. As you all know, he continues to put UTSA athletics at the front porch of this university. He continues to support me wholeheartedly, as well as our coaches, our staff, and our student athletes, so thank you. Before I introduce Karen, I first want to recognize and thank the incredible members of the search committee, who they diligently, with professionalism, led a very comprehensive national search. My gratitude to Mike Bazemore, who's here with us, our Executive Senior Associate Athletics Director, for leading the effort. Thank you, Mike. Women's basketball senior Carrington Donald. I'm not sure if Carrington is here today, but she represented the voice of our women's basketball program. Coach Steve Henson, who gave us the basketball expertise, and of course, Assistant Athletic Director of Academics, Lydia Plajek. Thank you so much. This committee was charged with identifying a diverse pool of candidates who demonstrated coaching success with unquestionable integrity and with an ability to develop young women athletically, academically, and in life. And I will tell you that there was a great deal of interest in this position, but one name kept coming up. So many men and women in and outside of our profession spoke to us about Karen's integrity, her experience, and after meeting with her, it was very clear she was our coach. I'm not going to read her credentials. You can see that in the press release, but I will say that Karen is a proven winner. She's a proven recruiter, and she has demandingly high expectations, but she can also relate and cares for the students in her program. As you get to know her, you will feel her passion for the game of women's basketball and her commitment to academics and the personal success of students. For Karen, it is so much more than basketball. Her program will represent our department and the university with class and character in every endeavor. And I know that Karen is excited to immerse herself in the campus and greater communities of San Antonio. So it really is truly an honor to welcome Karen, her wife Claire, and their daughter Marilyn to the Roadrunner family. Please join me in introducing and welcoming our new head women's basketball coach, Karen Aston. We're trying to figure out if it was appropriate to hug or not in this COVID environment, so we'll be safe.
That's so strange not to be able to hug and show someone your appreciation, but I understand the times, and I just want to thank a series of people, and starting with President Amy. I think the clear vision and commitment to athletics was something that resounded with me, and I wish he was here today, but I'm looking forward to meeting him, and I just appreciate so much his commitment to women's basketball and the opportunity to work at UTSA with these young women. I want to thank Dr. Campos I'll go into a little bit more detail about my thoughts there, but I want to thank the committee. I want to thank Mike Bazemore. I mean, just been fantastic with working with the transition and all of the things that are necessary for a coach. The search committee, I appreciate so much your diligence in finding who you thought was the best coach for this opportunity, and I appreciate all of you giving me a breath and giving me an opportunity to impact this university, impact the basketball program, but more importantly, impact these young women and the women that move forward here as basketball players. I want to thank the alums. I wish that we would have had an opportunity to get some of them here. I can't tell you how much alums mean to me and will mean as we move forward to this basketball program. I've had several reach out and talk about how excited they are about what's coming and how excited they are to be a part, and we'll welcome them back with open arms as soon as possible. I want to thank my family. You know, with every coach, I think we all understand that there's a lot of people behind you that have to be committed to that process every day. I think they have to understand that the demands of being a coach. I think they have to be supportive. They have to be part of the basketball family, and I want to thank Claire, and got a little road runner that y'all are going to see running around that's going to love being a part of this, and my immediate family, my sisters, and just the people in my life that have supported my passion means the world to me. And then lastly, I really want to thank the players. There's some of you here today. I think it's cool when you meet a new team and you get the opportunity to look in their eyes and see that they have some excitement and they have a trust with you that they're going to buy into the process. And the short time that I've had right now with the players, I can sense that they want to build that, and they want to be a part of change, and they want to be a part of something special, and they want to have success, and they want to have confidence in who they are and as individuals and who they are as a team. And I just want to thank them for welcoming me with open arms. I think you start as you take a new job. You always get into the whys. Why did you know? People always ask me why you got into coaching, why UTSA, what made this decision and what made this job the right one for you and your family. And I will tell you at the top of my list, and I think most of the coaches that are here today would probably echo this sentiment, but Dr. Campos is amazing. And UTSA jumped forward very quickly with me in being the place that I wanted to coach next because of her vision. And not only just a vision for women's basketball, but her vision for UTSA athletics in general. I mean, it is a very, it's like your players want you to have a clear vision. They want you to have a purpose and a meaning for everything that you do, and they want you to want to be successful, and they want you to want them to be successful. And it was so obvious to me that is what's happening here. And when you talk to the coaches, the head coaches that I've had the opportunity to meet and had conversations with, that's the common theme around here, is that this is a building athletic program, and that it's on the rise, and it's a place that you can not only call home and call family, but you can also be a part of something that is going to be very, very special in the future. So it was really a no-brainer for me, because I felt the commitment from the administration that we could build this into something special, and that there was a commitment not only to being a good basketball program and winning games and doing the things that it's going to take to do that, but also to the integrity for the student athlete. What is their process going to look like? What is their journey as an athlete here going to be like, and it was just very clear to me. And so I just want to say that Dr. Campos shares my passion, and I wanted to be a part of something where the reason why you coach, most of us coach because we have a passion for the sport, but we also have a passion for helping young people reach their potential. And that was super important. I want to hit a little bit on San Antonio because I think that, you know, it's the 7th largest city in America. We've hosted 3 women's Final Fours. So I think that I would be remiss in not saying that I think there's an enormous amount of potential here for growth in women's basketball as far as a fan base. I had the privilege since I had the opportunity to work in the state of Texas for many years. I mean, I traveled down the road lots of times to watch the Silver Stars play. And one thing that I was always so amazed with was the rabid fan base. And I think it was really disappointing to all of us that were in this area that the Silver Stars left San Antonio, but what also they left was fans that are looking for a new team. And I'm really super excited about getting to know the media and getting word out about our program so that we can try to reach out and connect with all of those people that were obviously women's basketball fans. You see this year's a unique year, but I can promise you one thing: the coaches across America would vote on the Final Four to be in San Antonio every single year because of the fan base, because of the people that embrace women's basketball. So I'm excited to see where we can go with that. This place can get filled pretty quick. I feel like if we put a better product on the court, a product for people to be proud of, but also get our players out in the community so the fans can actually feel like this is their team and these are their girls. So I think the media market is the 3rd largest media market in the state of Texas, so I just don't see any reason why we can't get the word out as quick as possible and make some immediate changes. I'm excited about being in Conference USA. As you all know, I'm fairly familiar with the league. I think one unique thing about Conference USA is that we do have 2 traditional women's basketball powers in the league. We have ODU, and I'm dating myself a little bit, but I can remember those iconic players that played at ODU. I can remember the iconic players that played at Louisiana Tech, and how I can tell you my first basketball game as when I was a college basketball player. I played in Arkansas, and I'm from Arkansas, and I had to get in the car and go see Louisiana Tech and USC play. And it was the most phenomenal experience for me as a female athlete to see that people really went to watch women's basketball. It was a sellout. It was an amazing experience that I will never forget. But you have Louisiana Tech in this league also that has a rich tradition. And then my history with Charlotte and North Texas, it'll be fun to see them again and be able to play against them in the future. I think it's a great league. I think that it's a building league. If we can continue to establish and have consistency with the teams in the league, I think it's going to be a multiple bid league at some point. And obviously, I believe should have been this year based on all the basketball I saw. I think Rice probably should have been in the NCAA tournament. So I'm looking forward to that. And then lastly, I would just say in the climate that we live in today, one of the things that I really look forward to is helping the young women in my program be a part of change, help them have a voice, and help them establish leadership not only in the community but wherever they go in life. And that's super important to me. I mean, they need to be heard and they need to have their stories told, and I look forward to that. So thank you very much.
I'm going to turn it over to Kyle for the next part of this segment.
Karen, you mentioned about why UTSA. I wonder if you can expand on that a little bit more.
It is a young program. This is a young athletic program, and again, I can't speak enough about Dr. Compos's vision. I mean, it's just so clear that she wants to build a consistent athletic program, not a one-hit wonder. Her commitment to facilities upgrades, her commitment to creating an environment where there's equity. Those are things that I believe in as a woman. And I believe in opportunity. And this is an opportunity to grow and have your footprint on something. At this point in my career, I've had the opportunity to do a lot of things and share a lot with these young women about things that help you be successful and things that can get in the way of success. And really, to be honest with you, that's what coaching is all about. And I had the opportunity to reflect on that the last year and find out, what are the non-negotiables? What are the things that are really important to me? Do I want to coach, and what does it need to look like for me to want to be in a program again? And I'm excited about this being, along with the staff that I hire, a chance to make a difference.
You bring a certain pedigree to this program that hasn't been here in recent years. What are your short-term goals for this program?
I could specify wins and those types of things, but I think if you can accomplish day-to-day goals, then I think some of those things, the winning takes care of itself. So I think my first goal is to create an atmosphere that people want to be a part of. And everybody, culture is kind of, that's the hot word now, but I want to create an environment and a culture that, first of all, these current players can thrive in, and then people want to be a part of it. And if that means the fan base, the alumni, future recruits, those are my short-term goals. And obviously, I can define those more clearly as far as, I have to get a staff hired and make sure I get in here and get on the court with these young women and see, where they need to improve, what are their strengths, what are their weaknesses. I have a lot to evaluate at this point, but I would say that it's hard for me to talk about, do we want to be in the middle of the pack, or we want to go from where we are right now into the middle of the pack. That would be a realistic goal for me, but I don't like to sell myself short or sell these young women short. So, we have to address some needs in recruiting, so we'll get to that. But I'm just looking forward to establishing kind of the day-to-day way of life for the women's basketball program right now.
Greg and others, can you introduce yourself for Karen's sake?
And who you're representing?
Yeah, Karen, my name's Greg. I'm with the San Antonio Express News. I want to ask you about San Antonio as a recruiting ground and your ability to recruit it. Obviously, you've worked in the area and you must have some ties here. And we've seen a lot of the top players in the NCAA tournament are coming from around San Antonio. So what do you make of recruiting this region?
Well, do you think I could talk any of them to coming back home and just having their last year here or something? I think there's a few of them that are about to graduate, and maybe I could talk them into not going to the WNBA. No, I think that, first of all, the high school basketball is terrific here. It's so dramatically improved from when I first moved to Texas and started recruiting. It's unbelievable, the talent level in the city, and that there's several reasons for that. High school coaching is fantastic, but I truly believe that the climate of girls basketball in the city of San Antonio changed with the Silver Stars. I mean, it's like that started this interest in little girls of, hey, I can be a basketball player, and I like, you know, and then now we have the fans that are gravitating towards women's basketball, and so all of a sudden you saw the interest level change dramatically. I think there were some club teams that impacted the city in a very positive manner. Again, high school coaching is terrific. I've always thought that it was tremendous in the state of Texas. But and then you start to add the interest in young ones that develop their games at a very young age, and that culture was started, in my opinion, around the time the Silver Stars came. I mean, you just saw little ones everywhere with little Becky Hammond jerseys on, and it was an amazing transition for girls basketball in this area, because I can remember a time when there wasn't as many competitive teams down here, and that's not the case anymore. And you're right, some of the best players in the country are from San Antonio right now.
So what is your pitch to try to get them to stay here when they might have those like Power 5 offers or opportunities to go somewhere else?
That's a great question. I think the vision is one of the pitches, is that you can be a part of change. You can be a part of building something. You can stay home and your family can come watch you play. You don't have to go across the country to be a part of something good and something special. I also think that development, you know, I mean, I believe that players want to be developed. They work really hard to get to the point where they get a chance to go to college, and then they want to get to college and continue to improve. So we'll be able to sell a lot of that, and I think that if you look across college basketball, if you look across even who's in the WNBA right now, which, I mean, reality of it is players want to play. They want the opportunity to see if their potential takes them to the professional level. That's where women's basketball is right now. And to say that they can't do that at a mid-major, I mean, to me, that's part of the pitch, is if you get a chance to showcase your skills, and people are going to know. They're going to, I mean, Becky's a perfect example. She played at Colorado State, and she's broken a lot of glass. So it doesn't just have to happen at a Power 5. I mean, again, if you look at the rosters in the WNBA, look how many are extremely successful that played at mid-majors. So I think that's a conversation. I don't want to say it's a pitch. It's a real conversation you have with them so that they understand they can achieve, because it's about goals for young people. I mean, yes, they want to be on television, they want to win games and all of those things, but they also individually want to try to achieve their goals. So I think it's more about conversation than a sales pitch.
And then for you personally, how will coaching at UTSA be different from coaching at Texas, just given, you know, the differences in resources and just the scope of the athletics program?
I think Dr. Campos is working on this, so I hope I don't step on a toe here. But I mean, you know, I think having another court to practice on, that sounds really silly, but I mean, I'm worried about the basketball court, and we have one. And I've got young women to work with, and that's what I'm concerned about. I mean, I haven't really spent a lot of time trying to figure out what's going to be different, because I'm embracing this job for where it is right now and what I need to do to help the program improve. Every place I've been has been different, and I've learned lessons, and I've had great experiences everywhere I've been. So you're coaching basketball, you're helping people grow, and it's going to be the fun of it for me.
Hey Coach, Jay Shannon, Fox 29 here in San Antonio. Wondering what this last year was like for you, being away from the game, some things you may have learned in this time as you pursue this new opportunity. Thank you.
question. Well, I moved from Austin to Kansas City to be near the little one's grandparents, so that was a terrific breath. To just take a step back and be around family, in particular with COVID, there were really not, I had a plan, to be honest with you. I thought, okay, I'm going to do this, and then that wasn't a reality. And what I mean by that is I had intentions of, there were certain people I wanted to go watch practice and do some professional growth steps. So since that didn't get to happen, when I moved to Kansas City, there were a couple of coaches that allowed me throughout the year to go watch practice, in particular Bill Self, who I really connected to and really enjoyed watching practice. I wish I would have had more time to do that because it was very eye-opening, just to see the different way someone does something. It took me a while to figure out, to be honest with you, how do I grow in this process. I mean, it was easy to, month after month, to step back and say, okay, these are the things that I would do different. These are non-negotiables when I take my next job. What would I do? What would I do different? What did we do well? What would we do better? That was fun to go through that kind of training for yourself. I will admit I really enjoyed time with my family. When you've done this, and I think every coach can attest to this, when you've done this over 20 years at the pace that we do it at, you don't realize until you have that opportunity to just breathe for a second that might be a necessary thing every now and then in life. So you learn a little bit about balance and perspective, and I definitely did that. And then I had an opportunity to step back and do a little bit of life coaching work that was very enlightening for me. I could expand on it further, but I'll probably continue doing it just because it was a good experience just to hear how people's minds work and what successful people, what goes on in their thought processes every day. So there was some things to that I think I'll take into the realm of day-to-day activities with my staff and my team. I did not get to go to a Chiefs game, so that was disappointing. I thought, okay, there's all these great things in Kansas City, I'll go do all of them, and then of course, we didn't do a whole lot.
I'm JJ Perez with Inside Runner Sports, by the way. I have a question for Lisa. Can you share the timeline of the hire, and can you tell us any details with the contract as far as dollar amount and length of term? Thanks.
Sure, thanks, JJ. I don't even know what today is, JJ, so I don't know if I can rehash the timeline. It's been a whirlwind, and as you all know, we've been knee-deep in planning for NCAA Women's Basketball Championship, a little tournament we have going on here. But no, it went really quickly, JJ, and again, a lot of credit to Mike and the search committee. And really just the interest. We always have a profile of what we're looking for, and we talked about those characteristics, and then it was night and day. It was, going through a search just as we did with Jeff and others. You are constantly every hour getting phone calls and recommendations, and you're in return, calling folks and getting references, and so it was a pretty quick process. Again, the committee did a tremendous job of doing the interviews in this COVID world, of course, not being able to bring folks on campus per se. We did a lot of the interviews via Zoom. But shortly after, as soon as we identified Karen and the search committee brought that forward, that process went really quickly, and we worked with system and were able to put some terms together. And to the second part of that question, it is a 6-year contract. The average base salary is $250,000, There's also a supplemental pay of $100,000 annually, and that includes, media, public appearances, those sorts of things.
Lisa, just what do you envision for the women's basketball program, like goals or benchmarks you want to hit, and how quickly can the team get there?
That's a great question, Greg. Of course, my expectations for all of our coaches is that we are competitive, and that's not just athletically, but that's also the academic and the personal part of all of this. We always talk about our aspirational vision is to be San Antonio's nationally recognized Division I program, and that's what we wake up every day excited to make decisions to move us forward in that way. So for women's basketball, again, we've hired someone with experience, with high expectations, someone who is going to move our program forward. I can't give a timeline on what that's going to look like. That's going to be for Karen to evaluate. But we have high expectations of all of our programs, and we really want to be competitive within conference and then moving towards national presence. All right, well, again, thank you all so much for being here. We really appreciate the coverage. Thank you.